96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock on a rainy Tuesday, and it's time for us to learn about our eyes and how we can better take care of them so that we can see as long into our lifetimes as we possibly can, if not forever. The ladies in the studio are so smart. I have to brag about them. I'm going to explain in a second. In the studio is Nikki Nix, Zora Harrison, and Lindsey Weiseman from Ocala Eye. And by the way, during the course of this, you are all invited to call in to ask questions about eyeglasses, eye care, contact lenses, anything, whether it's something as simple as eyeglasses or something as super serious as surgery. And they also handle hearing aids and facial things, right, Nikki?
Yes.
So, ladies, I want to compliment you and tell you how smart you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love that.
Listen to this. Do you remember a couple, maybe more than a couple weeks ago, I brought up an article about this guy. Was it in London, Robin?
Yes.
86-year-old man. I think I brought this up in more than one show. Stem cells.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And you warned us.
Yes.
You said, be careful. I want you. And you said, I think it was you, Zora. You said, Google
Yes. Right.
failures.
Yes. Right.
I did.
Yeah.
Can I read one to you? It
Sure.
won't take that long.
Please.
Okay. For 3 women in southern Florida, and this was not a Florida article, by the way. This was the Associated Press. 3 women in southern Florida each paid $5,000 to join a trial. What do you call them? A clinical trial. $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I thought clinical trials
Well, they typically are.
are free, right?
Yes.
When they're FDA approved.
Yeah. Yeah. It has. You have to be approved for a trial.
Okay, and
Yes.
and that's exactly
Because
right.
it's funded.
Because stem cells is not FDA approved.
Correct. And there are a lot of things
Not
that
here.
are not FDA
Yeah.
approved that they will approve for study trial.
Yeah.
You can't just start your own trial.
Right.
You have to have a trial that it's been vetted and that they've allowed you to. So I think
Okay.
that was the number one red flag. Is
Again,
they
you're
paid.
so smart. Okay, but listen to this. This is a horrible story. And thank you for telling me to look it up, because I don't want our listeners to
No.
think that I brought a subject up that they say, oh, I'm going to go get stem cells in my eyes.
Right.
All right, don't do it, because listen to this. Until we figure this out, how to do it, don't do it. So these 3 women paid $5,000 each to get stem cells injected into their eyes to help their macular degeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Before the procedure, all the women had some vision loss, but all could see well enough to drive.
Mm-hmm.
One went completely blind, and the other 2 lost much of their eyesight after the injection of stem cells. It does go on to say that it was growing behind the cells were growing behind the retinas, and it just destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's
that
why,
and infection are the 2 things that.
That's why whenever, I wouldn't want to be a, Debbie Downer, but it did make me concerned. And that's why whenever you read an article, you have to vet it, and do a little bit more background
Research
and
on your
research
own,
on it.
right.
Because we all, especially when it comes to sight loss or hearing loss, you grasp at being able to get those senses back.
yes,
And,
yes.
to get false hope or to have somebody take that away from you is really tough. So we've heard bad stories. And that's why I was really concerned that the listeners would really investigate it.
And that was here in
determine it.
Florida, so
Yeah, and that's where I've heard. I don't know about those particular cases, but I have heard cases that are local, not local like Ocala, but closer to Florida. To us than what you would believe. So
yeah. So thank you for being on top of that
Yeah.
game. You didn't even know I was going to throw it at you.
no, but you know what? I read the journal every month, and that's how I feel like I stay on what's going on, because that journal gives us back perspectives all over the country of what we're going to be hit with. When a patient walks in, what are they reading about? What's in the news?
Right.
What are other practices doing? And then it also tells you what you need to be, you need to report on or
Well,
understand.
and the other thing I thought of is, I don't know the guy in London, but maybe he was from here. Maybe he said, oh, they do it in London, I'm going to go over there. And in his case, he lucked out.
Yeah.
But remember I said, well, this is politically incorrect, but he probably thought, I'm so old, what difference does it make? He's 86, you know?
Well, and I think that if I was in the situation where I'd already had lost sight.
And you had no sight in that eye,
yeah,
right?
you know, and there was a chance, and it was an approved clinical trial, then I understand, because we need people to participate in clinical trials, or otherwise we wouldn't be able to advance medicine.
Mm-hmm.
But typically the trials are very, very well vetted, and they're also the criteria to enter the trial. The benefit must outweigh the risk or the potential risk. And, you know, always trials have risk with them. But I have to say the ones that we're a part of, I'm always extremely impressed when I read what the patient has to go through, what the doctor has to go through, what the clinic
Very
has
rigorous.
to go through. Yeah, it makes me feel more confident as a consumer that these trials are there to advance medicine, but there's a lot of things there to protect us. You know, they can't protect you from everything, but I think that they do their best to make sure that the doctor is well vetted, the clinic is well vetted. I mean, to be a part of these trials, these technicians have to go through a lot of training and be approved. Now, the physician's a whole nother level. But, you know, I can't walk in and be a part of any trial that we're in because I'm not certified. So I can't look at information. I can't
gather information.
I can't talk to the patient. So there's a lot of things that they do that I think is really good to protect us. Now, when you're paying to be a part of a trial, you know, I would definitely vet that first.
Yeah. By the way, you said a whole nother. She said a whole nother.
I know, I heard.
See, that's a Wisconsin word. You took the word another, you dissected it,
Yes.
you took the A from another and put the word whole in there.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how we have our own little, we have our own vocabulary here.
And that was one part of the trials that Larry was reading in the news article, is that some of them charge the people to be a part of it.
Correct, and that should send up red flags for patients as well.
Yeah.
And I think that some of those people fear is what drives them to be a part of that.
Yes,
They're scared they're going to lose what they have.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, if they'll just keep their routine eye care with their physician, most of them should be at least helping them maintain what they have from it.
And they're driving,
worse.
so it couldn't be that bad if they were driving.
No, I totally agree. And it makes me excited sometimes whenever I look at the charts and I see these patients that would, 10 years ago have gone completely blind from macular degeneration, and their sight has been maintained. It's insane.
Yeah.
I used to, as a technician, I would dread when I heard the words the doctor would scribe back to or speak to us, and we were scribing. When there were certain terms that he would use, I'd just feel sick because I knew that was bad.
Really.
And then I knew that he was going to have a tough conversation with the patient. And now I feel like, in many cases I'm going to get you over to the retina doctor, and the retina doctor is going to take.
And, like Zora's saying, the doctors are now at least being able to maintain their vision to where they can keep legal driving vision in the state of Florida, so that
most cases,
we can at least salvage that little bit of independence they still have left. Because that is, again, one thing that's very
And
frightening
our retina
for
doctor
patients.
is a part of trials right now. He constantly is making sure that he definitely, both of them, our retina doctor that comes in once a week and Dr. Sami, they definitely pride themselves on making sure they have data and facts, and that everything that is.
Yeah, they got to be careful.
Yeah, and that they do their best to protect their patients. And I guess that's just something that we are very prideful at our organization. Sometimes we hear, like yesterday, I had a patient tell me he was going to have, or they offered to have laser on floaters. And that's a controversial subject, and so he did his research and decided maybe that wasn't, the best option. And actually, he left our practice and then was calling to return because he said, he was frustrated, why didn't you offer that? And then he did the research and said, okay, so now I understand that maybe there's always two sides to this story.
And gosh, the only thing I can say about the pride we have as a radio station having you on is that it gives this listening audience an opportunity to get to know you and then therefore trust you.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's it's so nice that you do this. All of your hair looks really nice today. What you do?
Well, I'm not sure how because of the rain. Honestly,
Really? You don't think your hair looks good? All of you
I
look
got in
good.
the car this morning. And I was like, I don't even know why I did my hair because it's going to be a mess. So.
We saw you, Nikki, the other night.
Yes, First Friday Art World.
Friday, yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
was at the First Friday. I didn't see you guys.
Yeah, they were on the corner down by the
Chocolate
confectioner's chocolate shop.
Oh, I get my hair done right next to there.
Oh, do you really?
Been going there for years, and you know what? I've only once stopped at the chocolate shop.
I did there on my way out. I got a white chocolate rice.
Oh,
Krispie
it's
treat.
amazing! I can't
did
let
the white-
myself
the white
stop.
I did
chocolate?
the white chocolate rice Krispie
Why is that
treat.
called chocolate? It's not really chocolate.
I don't really know.
That's a good
I love it
question,
too,
huh?
though. I love it too.
Yeah.
Lindsay, when you go overseas and you have to bring all the equipment over, do you keep in touch with the people that you're going to go see throughout the year so you've got a handle as to what you need? the next
Absolutely.
trip?
Absolutely. We start probably 6 to 8 months prior to us going over there. We all have an email that kind of goes back and forth of who's received what, and each party has probably about 4 to 7 suitcases that they have to take over just in supplies to take care of the patients. You actually have to put your personal items that you're going to bring in your carry-on. So you can, so for 10 days, so you can, savor up all your luggage space, to take supplies over there. Luckily, I've managed to make that happen for 2 years in a row. I was like, what? I have to fit all this in this little bag. But you wear scrubs, so it fits in there. But yes, we do. The lady who's the head who organizes everything, she does a wonderful job. She reaches out to different ophthalmology practices of any equipment that they might not want that they could donate to her. They have a new phaco machine down there. They've got all sorts of kind of newer equipment, which is very exciting because all they really had was a flashlight and a lens at first. So
man.
they've come a long way.
Sounds
She's
like a
done a
Boy
lot of
Scout.
work. Yes.
Yeah.
Playing a lens.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is a
MacGyver
phaco
surgery.
machine?
Right.
What's a phaco?
To be able to do the cataract surgery.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
My
yeah,
gosh.
a more advanced
Matter of
one.
fact, we're bringing in some new equipment that's going to make our practice more technology driven. So we'll be able to
did.
give new options to the patient. And when in that process, we're gathering things that we can take and send over there. And matter of fact, just not only in that clinic, but how can we repurpose things that could help other areas of the country. So it's exciting. It really does feel good to give back, or to even like I'm not able to go, but if I'm able to come up with ways and
Sure, to
get
help.
things
Yeah.
together for them to go, I think that's it makes you
That's a
feel
plus.
good. It is.
Sure.
It is. So
You have to work as a team.
you do. It takes a lot. It does.
But you work locally with the Lions Club and things
We
like that
do.
too, right? Yeah.
We actually do, and we partnership with the We Care program. So that program is in Marion County. I work with a lot of programs, and I really love that program because it helps the patient in multiple ways. So not only do they get the patient the physician they need, but they partner with groups like Ocala Eye and some of the other large groups that have all the services. So that's really remarkable, that we have a community program that, and when we were asked to be a part of it years ago, many years ago in the 90s, we found that that was an amazing opportunity for us to give back. So some of the programs only can partnership for specific needs, but the We Care program, which you do have to qualify for, it's going to help you. I've worked with patients that have had heart surgeries, multiple different things. We have a stalker out front.
That's Nikki's
I
husband.
know. He's on the road.
He carries a gun now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
He's protecting us from our fans.
Police officer?
He's a
Yeah.
good handler for the sheriff.
Come on in.
Yeah.
You can come in. Oh, he's going in the mall.
he says, hopefully you knew he was coming, huh?
He's going to Zales.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, no, isn't it? What's the one? K's, everybody? The K's or something. So, yeah.
Every kiss
And we
Every
also-
kiss begins, okay.
At Christmas time too, we also give back to families as well.
Yes, we adopt
local.
families,
We adopt families and help them to have a good Christmas for their family as well.
We did for Thanksgiving for Interfaith.
Yes,
also
yes,
this year.
yes.
Yeah.
And this month we're doing, or is it May? Well, I think it's April. We're doing the governor's cleanup.
Mayor's
cleanup.
cleanup. So
For
we
the-
just ways that we can.
Is that right? Well, earlier you mentioned the retina specialist.
Yes.
That makes me think there's enough retina work for
Oh
one.
yes, he stays busy
Wow.
full time. He actually we have another doctor that comes up from Orlando
To help him.
one time a week to help relieve some of his patients.
So is that all macular degeneration, or
It could be diabetic. It's all retina.
Yeah.
You know,
All
there's
retina.
multiple
Wow.
reasons you need a retina specialist.
Yes.
But I would have to say
Wow.
in our community and surrounding areas that, macular degeneration is prevalent. So
Yep.
we stay very,
Yes,
very
he does.
busy.
So it's
Very,
more
very
common
busy.
than you realize,
Yes,
than I
it
realize
is.
anyway.
Yeah.
So that's
And like
April-
I said, as long as you're with a physician who, and I use the term loosely because obviously you want to make sure that they're within the realm of good, but on the cutting edge of technology as far as keeping up to date with what is best for their patients, such as Dr. Sami and Dr. Kraut. They're really just maintaining the patient's ocular health and keeping, what they have as far as their vision goes, instead of letting it just decline with no follow-up and no follow-up care.
Yeah, I think that the fear would be that in today's world where you can Google anything and then find information like
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, they could come across that article, for example, with the guy with the success,
Yes.
and next thing you know, they're doing like these ladies did in South Florida and losing their
Look
sight.
for the
Because
data.
like Zora said when we originally discussed that part, it brings up all this hope in
Yeah.
people, and then
Right,
they don't really
right.
want to look into it to find out what else could happen. They just
Right.
want to go with the hope side of it,
Right,
and unfortunately
right.
that leads people
Very
sometimes
smart,
down the wrong
yeah.
avenue. And
Yeah.
One thing I think that separates Ocala Eye is the fact that we, under one organization, we represent every specialty with the exception of pediatrics.
Yes.
So pediatrics is its own. That is it's a big specialty. Let's just say that. And we're very fortunate as a community that in Gainesville we have two very highly recognized pediatric ophthalmologists. But our practice represents all of these subspecialties. And what makes that unique is when you're in the office and you have a problem with the cornea, you see the cornea doctor. Or if you have a problem with glaucoma, you see the glaucoma doctor. If you have a problem with the retina, you see the retina doctor. And the reason why that's special or unique is that's what they treat all day, every day.
That's
and
it.
their
That's
job
their
is to
specialty.
stay
Yeah,
specialized
yeah.
on that particular area. And in eyes, you can have a cornea problem, a glaucoma, and a retina problem. And trust me, we have several.
Yes.
So it's a comfort level to know that not only do you have the Ivy League trained specialist here, right, available in Ocala, which is unique. We had a company call us and ask us to be a part of a program called Success Files, and we just have decided to partnership with them. And what this is it's a Rob Lowe hosts it, but it's a documentary on health and medical. And one of the interview questions I thought was kind of interesting. They were choosing practices. Is he said, "How did you get all of these Ivy League surgeons to Marion County?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I said, I
That's a
guess
great
we
question.
sold them when they got here. I don't really know. I think it is what separates our practice. Is you know, if you have a problem, there are times that we will tell you need an academic center, and we're not afraid to do that because that's what's best for you as a patient. But for the majority of those patients, of the 300 or 350 that we see walk through our doors every day, we're able to treat them in-house, one doctor, one chart, and share experiences and ask for feedback. We've got two glaucoma specialists, two cornea specialists. They're bouncing things back and
right,
forth.
I was going to say
and-
they can consult each
Yeah,
other
they consult.
with patients' care.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's what separates us,
Yes, I
So hopefully in the next 120 days, we'll have our documentary finished, and we will be on.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I'm really
Great.
excited
Are
they
you
chose
ladies
us.
featured in the documentary? Are you all on camera?
So probably not. They're going to choose two providers and a patient. And the it's a 5 to 6 minutes, just educational documentary. So, but to be chosen was quite an honor. I mean, if you look at the website, President Bush has been on this documentary, and quite a few successful,
cool.
Southwest Airlines. So,
so in the documentary, do you answer the question? How did you get the Ivy League?
I don't know. This was our interview to see if we were even. They found us because of our ratings, our reviews.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer to that question because I'm not sure what they're going to ask us. But I do have to say it is kind of unique to have in Ocala these.
I wonder what the answer is. Would the question should go to the first doctor?
Yeah, I think we should
And
ask
some of them knew each other,
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
did.
They did know each other
knew
in medical school. And the other thing is, and I truly believe this in my heart, it is sometimes hard to recruit someone to Ocala, right? But if I can get them to Ocala and they see our practice and our
You can get them
staff
through the doors.
they don't that's what signs them, I think. I mean, we're a 47-year company.
Right.
The board members have all equal ownership, and that means that you're going to do what's best for the practice always. I guess that, and I guess the courteousness, they're nice to each other. That's really unusual, I guess, to have partners that actually enjoy being partners. I mean, I run the board meeting, and I can tell you that it's enlightening sometimes just to, they want to talk to each other, and sometimes we have to
Do they ever get silly? Like, do they make paper airplanes, things like that?
Not paper airplanes, but I will tell you this.
That'll put your eye out,
Yeah, we try not to. But I think that they're real. They really do care.
Yes,
What
they
comes
do.
across is how much they care. And when they say, I had this patient, and they're talking about it, and they talk about their successes with each other, and it just I believe that's what creates the core.
And I think one nice thing, if they get like a nice card or chocolates or anything, they always share it with their staff. They always make sure they thank their staff and, show them what a difference that they are making in their community every day. And they're really good about.
Your patients send chocolates?
Oh my gosh!
yeah.
We get gifts all the time.
Bouquets.
Yeah.
We get
I
those
love it.
fruit
We get
bouquets.
the fruit
bouquets?
Yeah.
Wow.
We get a lot of cards.
My favorite is the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot
I
of
have
cards.
cried over several.
Is that right?
Yes.
But that trickles down, not just for why the doctors want to work there, but why the staff
yes.
wants to
Yeah.
work there.
Yeah.
And you three
That's
ladies
true, yeah.
are one
Yeah.
of the main reasons
Well, thank
for the
you.
doctors and for the patients.
Yeah.
You've got to have that liaison.
I truly believe that our company culture starts with the doctors, and when you see behind the closed doors how much they actually care, that makes your ownership as an employee so much different. I mean, you're willing to do anything for someone that you see cares, and they do. So
I think we feel that from the three of you. I mean, I really
good.
do. I think what you do, we're just as much a part of the audience as the listening audience.
Sure.
And so, we feel that. We feel that there's a camaraderie. We feel that there's like a Williston High School connection. I'm just teasing. But I mean, you feel it. You feel that you guys are, your stuff. And we can trust you. I think that's the big thing. We can trust you.
And they train us. I mean, I just had a question that I wanted to ask a doctor. I haven't gotten a chance to, but I know I have no question. And when I go and ask that question, I will get a great answer. And that's the other thing is we're not fearful. No one is fearful to say, "Can you help me with this? I don't understand." Or, they also
always been super involved in teaching.
super involved. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you can't beat that. So, and obviously we were all proven facts of how they invested into us. So
We like to let new hires know that too, especially in our interview process of how, involved the physicians are. And I mean, they're good people. They really are good people. They're good people.
So if you're just tuning in, it's Ocala Eye. We're talking about Ocala Eye.
And plus, you're involved in community. You had said
Yes.
earlier, interface. The mayor's cleanup is coming up April
Yes.
21st, and you guys are out there in the community.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll come clean. We look all nice and pretty today because Megan started yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Our nurse
We should
practitioner.
come clean.
That's right.
And what did she do?
So she's going to be doing Botox and fillers for us. She's going to start out one day a month in the villages right
Three
now.
of you don't need Botox and fillers.
Well, we won't say what anybody had done. Actually, I can actually say Denise, that this is all Denise, because I I know zero about facial skincare, and she just gives us what to use, and she says just use this, and then but Megan, she is part of our practice for many years. She worked at our surgery center. She's a nurse practitioner. She is a hard worker, and her coming on board, watching Megan realize her dream as she come in as a nurse, and then she went to nurse practitioner school. Then she learned how to be to do cosmetics and give. That was like just amazing.
She's
for
very
us.
sweet and gentle.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're excited. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we are.
Congratulations to Megan, and congratulations
Yes.
to you guys.
Yeah, and you
Yes, we're
can
very
read
excited to
about it
have
on our
her.
Facebook page and our website, and call anytime 622-5183 for an
Good job.
appointment, and
Good
of course www.ocala.com, and please follow us on Facebook. We put lots of educational material on there.
Yes.
Thank you, Zora. Thank you, Nikki.
And our
Thank you, Lindsey.
promotions. Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Yes, stay
All
dry.
right, we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump skipping a trip to South America, the White House says, to oversee the response to a chemical attack on civilians in Syria.
Monitors of the war in Syria say government forces are taking precautionary measures at military bases in anticipation of a possible U.S. strike. Russia says there's no evidence of a chemical attack and has warned the West against hurrying to respond.
Fox's Simon Owen. The president's again calling special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation a witch hunt. The FBI seized documents from the president's personal attorney based on evidence provided to federal prosecutors.
President Trump telling Fox News Radio he's considering his options.
Why don't I just fire Mueller? Well, I think it's a disgrace what's going on. We'll see what happens.
The president referred to the investigators on Mueller's team as the most biased group of people and said they have the biggest conflicts of interest he's ever seen.
Fox's John Decker. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Hi, this is Jack from Banyan Hill. You might have heard about that $34.6 billion that's expected to be doled out in what we call freedom checks. Huge checks that are changing people's lives from coast to coast. People like Sean from Pittsburgh. In fact, he's on the phone right now. Sean, you there?
Yes, I am, Jack.
Sean, let me ask you, how do you like getting these massive checks in your mailbox every month?
Well, Jack, we used to put stuff on credit cards living paycheck to paycheck. But now, after we started collecting a specific kind of freedom check, I have to say, life's a lot more fun.
I bet it is. In fact, getting